In our previous tutorial, we walked through how to create a medical plan that's not already created in your plan library. In this tutorial, we want to walk through how to add a new RX plan that's not loaded in your library. So we just finished off by creating our medical plan. Notice that as soon as we create our medical plan, that now becomes the default name of our plan design. And as we walked through earlier, we can always change that once the plan design has been created. So now we're at RX. And again, rather than search for one that's already loaded in our library, I'm going to click on Add New RX Plan. Now the first thing we need is going to be a plan name. And notice that it already defaults to the sample carrier. So when you go to create an RX plan, it knows to put it with the same carrier that the medical plan is created with. Now, in our case, we're using an HSA plan, and there are no copays around this. So while RX plans are not a required part of the plan design, we could have just skipped this part and assumed that we don't need an RX because it's all covered under the deductible. But in our case, we want to actually create an RX plan, and I'm going to call this HSA RX integrated with medical, right? So we're just kind of showing by our plan design name that this is an HRA, so the RX plan is integrated with the medical. All right, so that's really all we need to create this RX plan because there are no copays. But let's take a closer look at the information we're able to enter in an RX plan. Right? Notice we can enter an RX deductible. Now, this is a field specifically for RX plans that have a completely separate RX deductible. So some carriers allow you to add a 100 or a 250 RX deductible to help offset cost. All right, so that's what we would use in the RX deductible field. Then we capture 4 tiers, and we can put in dollars or percentages. If we put in a percentage, it's going to enable us to enter a field in minimum and maximum. So if we have a 25% to a minimum of 50 and a max of 200, we can capture that. Again, common question is, well, our RX plans have 6 tiers. Where do we put tier 5 and 6? So again, we're not trying to create an SBC. We're managing that level of benefit detail that employers said they wanted, and they clearly indicated 4 RX tiers was enough information to make decisions on. Notice we have our RX plan notes. So if you feel that those additional tiers are that important, we can always incorporate those into RX plan notes as well. All right, so again, the key is that we're going to enter the tiers. We're going to usually name that plan around those tiers. So if we had a 10, 30, 50, normally that's what we're naming the plan design as well as the tier information we're putting in. So hopefully you have a better insight into what actually makes up an RX plan, even though the plan we're creating right now is a true HSA RX that is completely integrated with the medical. All right, so now that we've named our RX plan, I'm going to go ahead and click Create, and we're going to be able to see any copays or deductible that was associated. And the next step is going to be to enter in premiums.